Hello and welcome to today's video. My name is Alicia and on this channel I talk all things luxury, life and fashion, so if you're interested, please stick around. On the 12th of January 2024, Bubs and myself, along with 7 of our friends, boarded Royal Caribbean's Ovation of the Seas for a 9-night adventure to the Great Barrier Reef. Here's the first half of that journey. Now, before I show and tell you guys about what we did, I do want to start by saying that my thoughts and prayers go to all of those affected by Tropical Cyclone Jasper. For those of you who don't know, particularly for those of you who do not live in Australia, Tropical Cyclone Jasper hit the Solomon Islands and far north Queensland in December of 2023, and in its trail it left an estimated 1 billion Australian dollars in damages and also claimed the life of a 30-year-old male, while an 85-year-old male is still declared as missing. Now, you might be asking why I'm giving you this bit of information, and that is because this cruise will take us to Cairns, and Cairns is one of many communities that have been affected by Tropical Cyclone Jasper. And me saying this is more a reflection and a moment to kind of acknowledge that we had the privilege of leaving our home and getting on a boat and then getting off that boat and still returning to a warm house and a bed and a roof over our head, which is something that so many people in affected areas do not have the privilege of at the moment. This is filmed on the 25th of January 2024, and as of 5 p.m. yesterday, Tropical Cyclone Kirrily was officially named. Now, it is predicted that it will make landfall at some point today, which is the 25th of January 2024, and so for the same area to be hit by potentially a second cyclone in less than 2 months is absolutely devastating, and I really hope that the people who are trying to rebuild a life that was destroyed through no fault of their own can get all of the support that they need from their community and from the nation. Let's start this vlog. So day one for us was boarding. We boarded at 12:30 and it was honestly a very quick boarding process. We were on board, I want to say within 20 minutes, and we went straight to Windjammer, which is the buffet, which they consider to be kind of almost the epicenter of the boat. It is something that is open pretty much all day with slight breaks in between meals. You can get an absolute array of foods, and that's the first place we went. We went for a little bit of lunch and a drink. Now, I do want to say that Bubs and I also did get a drinks package, so we kind of drank as much as we wanted to without having to worry about a surprise shock bill at the end. I also have notes on my phone because I don't have an eidetic memory, but 1:30, which is much earlier than I'm used to, we got access to our rooms and access to our bags. We spent a little bit of time exploring around before our friends joined us, and then we had our first dinner in the main dining room at 5 p.m. Then after dinner, we kind of let that digest a little bit because it is like a 3-course style dinner. We went to the adult-only solarium for the evening, then headed upstairs to the Cplex to play a little bit of table tennis, and then had a pizza at Sorrento's. Sorrento's is, I think, the place that's open the latest. It's open till like 3 a.m. in the morning, and it's just pizza, which is honestly sometimes a vibe. So we had pizza, and then we called it an early night, I guess, at 10 p.m. ready for day 2. Day 2, we started breakfast at 8:30 in the morning at Windjammer, and my was it busy. It was honestly a struggle to find a table. And then we originally wanted to do bumper cars at 9:15, but the line for that was so long. Nonetheless, we still did go and watch people play. We had lunch at the bistro at 12:30, which, even though it's called a bistro, it is a buffet style lunch. Now at 2 o'clock we had the belly flop competition, which was really fun to watch. I have the final hurrah of the winner in a clip. Then we had dinner at 5. Now our dinner was 5 o'clock every single night at the main dining room at the same table with the same waiters, and I kind of like that. It was like something to kind of round out the day. It was nice to have someone to talk to, and we kind of like talked about what we got up to and what we wanted to do, and they gave tips, so it was very, very nice. 7 p.m. we watched Spectres Cabaret, which was actually a very enjoyable show. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really see a storyline to it, but I definitely did enjoy the show. And then at 9:30 p.m. early in the day, we participated in this like guess the size, like the carat of a ring, and then we went back for that guessing competition to see if any of us actually got close, and none of us did, because I guessed 7 carats and it was actually 13 carats. So apparently my work in a jewelry shop did not really pay off in that area. And then we had another quick dip in the solarium. We didn't actually realize it was closed at the time, so we kind of just got kicked out of the solarium. And then we went back downstairs to Sorrento's for the second night in a row to grab pizza. And then Bubs and I had drinks at Amber and Oak, which is a pub, and it would later become pretty much our preferred pub, if you can say that, like the preferred bar that we had. We kind of just liked it. The staff recognized us, and it was just really, really friendly vibes. And then we took our drinks from the pub to the music hall, watched a little bit of live music, and then called it a night at midnight. That brings us to day 3. Now, day 3 at 2 a.m. in the morning, we set our clocks back an hour because we were now in Queensland waters, and they don't participate in, or they don't observe, daylight saving. So our clocks went back an hour. This is when we start having breakfast at the main dining room. The main dining room is where we have dinner, and it is a far less chaotic breakfast. You get seated instead of having to find your own table. The menu is definitely restricted. It's a lot smaller of a menu compared to a buffet, but I think ultimately when it came down to it, we all preferred that, you know, we could sit as a group of 9 at breakfast and we could kind of have it a little bit more relaxed. And then we watched the 60-second game show at the music hall. I will be honest, I actually have no idea what was happening, and I don't think any of us did. We were kind of just there for the atmosphere, but from what we gathered, it was like you had normal household items that you were supposed to do something not so normal with in 60 seconds and see who did it first. That's kind of all I managed to pick up from it. Now, at 12 o'clock, we went to watch The World's Sexiest Man. I will say it is a self-nominated competition, and majority of the participants, unsurprisingly, are like a day over 18. But it was definitely very, very fun. After that, we had lunch, which honestly was a little bit of a crossover because there's actually another buffet right behind the theater where we watched World's Sexiest Man. So we kind of went in there, got like some buffet food, and just sat and watched the show, went back to our room, had a quick little nap. Then at 4:30, we headed down to Amber and Oak for pre-dinner drinks. We had dinner again like every other night, 5 p.m. at the main dining room. And then at 7:30 p.m. we watched Live, Love, Legs, which is a burlesque style show. And it definitely gave very like Victoria's Secret vibes, like the wings and like the bras and like the stockings, if you feel me. Then 9 o'clock we had the first round of the karaoke competition, which I actually really loved the first night. It was a vibe, and we picked 3 winners out of the 10 participants to sing in the final show off. Day 4. So day 4 is our first day on land since leaving Sydney, and I don't think I was ever that happy to see land. However, it was a tender port, which means we had to get like little boats from the cruise onto the mainland, and then we had to get a bus from the mainland into town. So 7 a.m. in the morning, we go to Windjammer, have a really quick breakfast, and then we are on the second tender off the boat at 7:45 a.m. We get into the main town, which they're calling the city center, and from there it's around 8:30. We walked around a little bit and we ended up finding a cafe. So we got breakfast at the cafe, and that puts us at about 9 a.m. in the morning. At that point, we are running out of ideas of what to do. So a quick little Google, and we find out that without a boat license, we can still hire a boat. So we go on a little boating adventure for like, I want to say 2.5 hours. And essentially what we did was we got off a really, really big boat and got onto a really, really small boat. We get off the boat at 12:30, 12:45 we go and have fish and chips accompanied by the local population of seagulls. 1:30 p.m. and we start heading back on board, and what that means is a bus from town to the closest part of land, and then from there onto the tender, back onto the boat through customs and all of that, and somehow we make it to 5 p.m. dinner at the main dining room. That dinner, I don't know why, I think we were all just really, really hungry. It was like so much exercise, we were out all day, we didn't take a nap during the day, so Bubs and I proceeded to have a second dinner at Windjammer. No shame. We also had an early night. We called it a night at 8:30 because we were going to be in Cairns the next day as well. So we leave Arline Beach, Airlie Beach, and we head to Cairns. That brings us to day number 5, which is the first of 2 days in Cairns. So 8:30 a.m. breakfast at the main dining room, and then because we didn't make early bird tenders, we actually had to get like tender tickets, and that took so long. It was 12:45 by the time we actually arrived at Cairns City Centre. 1:25 we get lunch in town, and then Bubs and I decide that because we're there for 2 days, we're going to book an Uber car share. So we walk around, have a little bit more food to eat, and then at 4:15 we pick up our Uber car share and we drive to the fish market, because why not? Buy a dozen oysters that I pretty much scull before I get back on the tender. We arrive back on board at 5:45 p.m. so we've missed the dinner at the main dining room, so we choose to have dinner at the Windjammer instead that night. And then 8:30 p.m. we do music and drinks at the music hall, and then there's a second round of karaoke at 11 p.m. So that rounds out the first part of this vlog. It's probably going to be a long one, which is why it's been split into 2. So I hope you guys got a glimpse of what we did the first half. I will show you the rest of what we did. If you have any questions, comments, or queries, please feel free to leave them down below. If not, I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are.